likes to build off us, and he told us that his biggest asset is his.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good.
When it comes to heated debates in boxing, few topics ignite passion like who will win as Tank Davis prepares to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st. The talk is already gaining momentum.
Yeah. I mean, but again, they pick and choose, so it is what it is. And again, the media like to hate him too, so I'm going to catch a lot.
Fans and fellow boxers are sharing their thoughts, and Leonard Ellerby, one of Tank's strongest supporters, is confident the champ will emerge victorious. But what makes this fight even more intriguing is the backdrop Tank's retirement, his unpredictable moments, and the unique weight of this particular match.
Who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't do shit with
for real. So y'all better be quiet.
The world of boxing thrives on heat, and Tank's story has it in spades. On Christmas Eve, Davis shocked fans by announcing the fight against Roach was canceled. Social media erupted with speculation. Was it a ploy, a mental lapse, or just another twist in the career of a fighter who has never been afraid to wear his emotions on his sleeve? Whatever the reason, it added yet another layer to an already captivating narrative. Within days, it was clear the fight was still on, and Tank resumed his preparations. But the incident revealed something deeper: his complicated relationship with boxing, which has led him to declare this year his last in the ring.
I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me, Wes, so I don't never...
Leonard Ellerby, the man who has been in Tank's corner for years, provided insight into Davis's mindset. Speaking candidly on The Laboratory with Plaz, Ellerby said, "I can understand what's going on. Things are different when you have kids. It changes your life completely. He sees things differently than he did 6 or 7 years ago." Ellerby's words carry the weight of someone who not only knows the fighter intimately but also understands the brutal realities of boxing. Life is so much more than something you do for a living, Ellerby continued. You have respect for the fans who pay their money to see you fight. But you have a life outside of boxing. They want you to keep doing this, and they really don't care about your health afterward.
Through the tragedy.
And boxing, it brings, strangely enough,
him, bro, because he been tricking the boxing game for too long. He been tricking the boxing game for too long. He makes shit look good.
Boxing is, without question, one of the most punishing sports in existence. The history books are filled with fighters who stayed in the game too long, sacrificing their health and well-being. Ellerby highlighted this grim reality, emphasizing that many boxers of the past suffered permanent damage after being exploited by the sport. They went through a lot of health problems, a lot of permanent things, Ellerby said. I understand the philosophy that you get into the sport, leave your mark, and then you leave it there. Everyone's opinion is different, and everyone has different goals in life. For Gervonta, those goals now include stepping away while he's still at the top, both physically and mentally. But before he says goodbye, he's determined to solidify his legacy, starting with Lamont Roach.
Big dog, stop playing all this bullshit, acting like you that dude. You that money dude for sure. But when it comes to like straight balls, you know what I'm saying? You got one dude.
Roach, for his part, is no pushover. The 28-year-old challenger has been quietly building his reputation with a slick boxing style that emphasizes precision and ring IQ. Roach's camp believes he has the tools to dethrone Davis, pointing to Tank's recent lapses and focus as potential vulnerabilities. And while Roach isn't as flashy or outspoken as some of Davis's past opponents, his calm confidence could make him a dangerous threat.
I'm gonna beat his ass if y'all talking. Y'all better be quiet.
Boxing lifestyle was very demanding, and he said, I can always go back and finish my...
Let's be real, Gervonta Davis is no ordinary fighter. With an impressive record of knockouts, Tank has proven time and again why he's one of boxing's biggest stars. His explosive power, combined with a keen ability to adapt mid-fight, makes him a nightmare for opponents. Even when his personal life and mental state seem to waver, his performances in the ring remain nothing short of spectacular. It's this duality that fascinates fans and experts alike. Can Tank's raw talent and determination carry him through the distractions, or will the weight of his own expectations finally catch up with him?
I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds, but I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
Among the boxing pros weighing in on this matchup, opinions are as divided as ever. Some believe Roach's technical skills could frustrate Tank, forcing him into uncomfortable territory. Others argue that Tank's sheer power will be too much for Roach to handle. Roach is a solid fighter, said one prominent trainer. But let's face it, Tank is a different animal. When he connects, it's lights out. Ellerby naturally falls firmly in the ladder camp. Tank is ready, he said confidently. He's been working on his fitness, he's almost at weight, and he knows what's at stake. This isn't just about defending a title, it's about proving he's the best, even as he prepares to step away.
And I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Now what?
But not everyone is so sure. Still, Tank's track record speaks for itself. Even when facing adversity outside the ring, he's managed to deliver when it counts. And for many fans, that's all that matters. I don't care about his tweets or whatever, said one enthusiastic supporter. When the bell rings, Tank shows up. Period. The stakes couldn't be higher for this fight. For Davis, it's a chance to remind the world why he's one of the best to ever do it. For Roach, it's an opportunity to shock the world and catapult himself into the spotlight.
My thing is, Gervonta Tank Davis only has, after this, 5 fights left. We're running out of time. I want some incredible things to happen. Tank is a heavy dude. People keep saying that he's tiny. He's not. Look, his bones.
No, these are the fights that people will know.
And for the fans, it's another chapter in the unpredictable, thrilling saga of Gervonta Davis. Whether you're rooting for the champ or the underdog, one thing is certain: March 1st can't come soon enough. This fight has the boxing world full of anticipation, not just because of the titles and records on the line, but because of the layers of history and tension that make this fight a grudge match in every sense of the word. While many view Davis as the clear favorite due to his ferocious knockout power and unbeaten record, others argue that Roach's familiarity with Davis could spell trouble for the Baltimore native. The tension between these two fighters isn't just professional, it's deeply personal.
We fought twice in the same tournament. So, we fought in the Junior Olympics, in the regionals, and we fought in the nationals.
Roach's camp has been subtly hinting that Davis's recent distractions, including the birth of his son and his wavering focus on boxing, could give them the edge. There's a quiet confidence coming from Roach's team, suggesting that they've studied Davis closely over the years, especially during those amateur clashes and shared camps. They've seen his strengths, but more importantly, they've seen the vulnerabilities he rarely shows in the ring. Roach's supporters believe this intimate knowledge gives him a unique advantage, one that could lead to an upset that shakes the lightweight division.
Yeah. The fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as he is, it goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal, whether he's in the ring with them or not. That matters. When you know a guy's rhythm, when you know their speed.
You never count nobody out. He's working to the bottom.
When met, Davis, on the other hand, has been making waves for reasons that go beyond his power punches. His decision to delay the original fight date to spend time with his newborn son, Drew, sparked mixed reactions. While some praised his priorities as a father, others questioned his commitment to his craft in a sport as unforgiving as boxing, where even a momentary lapse can derail a career. Davis's decision added fuel to the fire of critics who claim he's losing his edge. The rescheduling of this fight has given Roach more time to prepare, and his team's confidence has only grown with each passing week. Adding to the intrigue is Davis's current state of mind. Known for his intense focus and relentless aggression, there's been speculation that the pressures of balancing personal life and professional obligations are beginning to weigh on him. Some insiders have suggested that Davis isn't approaching this fight with the same killer instinct that's defined his career.
Let y'all know, son, his father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this hand. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And it gotta be. You gonna say it's cap? I'm watching it. Gotta be.
While he remains unbeaten, there's a sense that this fight could reveal cracks in his armor. Roach's supporters are banking on the idea that Davis may be underestimating him, a mistake that could prove costly when the punches start flying. Roach's camp has also been stoking the flames by pointing out that Davis hasn't faced someone with Roach's level of familiarity in years. The amateur history between these two fighters isn't just a footnote, it's a blueprint for what could happen on March 1st. Roach has openly stated that he knows how to disrupt Davis's rhythm, how to exploit his tendencies, and how to avoid falling into the traps that have ensnared so many of Davis's previous opponents. For Roach, this isn't just a title defense, it's a chance to prove that he's been overlooked and underestimated for too long.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a night?
Davis isn't one to shy away from pressure. His devastating knockout win over Frank Martin was a stark reminder of just how dangerous he can be when he's dialed in. With 28 of his 30 wins coming by way of knockout, Davis has built a reputation as one of the most feared punchers in boxing. Yet critics argue that his reliance on power could backfire against a fighter like Roach, who's not only resilient but also technically sound. Roach's ability to adapt and survive in the ring has been evident in his recent fights, particularly his split decision victory over Hector Luis Garcia and his 8th round stoppage of Jason Vasquez. These performances have bolstered his confidence and cemented his status as a legitimate threat.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear?
The narrative surrounding this fight has also been fueled by whispers of animosity between the two camps. While neither fighter has been overtly disrespectful in the lead-up, there's an underlying tension that's impossible to ignore. Roach's team has subtly suggested that Davis is all hype a fighter whose career has been carefully curated to avoid real challenges. Davis's camp, meanwhile, has dismissed Roach as just another opponent who's in over his head. This back and forth has only added to the heat, with fans and analysts eagerly debating who has the psychological edge.
Stop closing up and let it go.
Some observers have pointed out that Davis's knockout streak, while impressive, hasn't faced the kind of scrutiny that Roach brings to the table. Unlike many of Davis's previous opponents, Roach isn't intimidated by his power. He's tasted it before, both in the amateurs and during sparring sessions, and he's convinced that he knows how to neutralize it. Roach's strategy, according to insiders, will revolve around exploiting Davis's tendency to load up on his punches by keeping the fight at a controlled pace and using his technical skills to frustrate Davis. Roach believes he can turn the tide in his favor.
No, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making.
The stakes for this fight couldn't be higher. For Davis, it's not just about defending his title, it's about proving that he's still the dominant force in the lightweight division. A loss to Roach would not only tarnish his perfect record, but also cast a shadow over his plans for retirement. For Roach, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to dethrone one of the biggest names in boxing and cement his legacy as a champion who rose to the occasion when it mattered most.
Kill it. The fight develop as we move forward, but he's already let Roach know that he's here to fight.
No more. The outcome of this fight could have ripple effects across the division, with the winner potentially setting the stage for even bigger showdowns in the future. In between all this, Stephen A. Smith, among many fans, has had enough of Gervonta Davis's safe matchmaking. The ESPN commentator recently blasted Tank's decision to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach, calling it a disgrace to the sport. For a fighter of Davis's caliber, many believe this bout is a blatant cherry pick, a calculated move to maintain his pristine undefeated record while dodging legitimate threats in the lightweight division.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Oh, true. Okay.
Let's get real. Davis is an absolute monster in the ring, a knockout artist who could headline any event with his explosive style. But who's he really fighting? Lamont Roach is a solid fighter, sure, but he's been competing in the super featherweight division. Now he's jumping up to lightweight to face one of the most dangerous punchers in the sport. Critics are rolling their eyes. This fight is a joke, Smith said on his show. Gervonta has the skills to take on the very best, yet he's fighting someone who's clearly not on his level. It's embarrassing. Fans are echoing the sentiment, flooding social media with complaints about Davis's matchmaking. One Twitter user wrote, "Tank's career is a masterclass in how to avoid tough fights while keeping the hype alive, and they have a point." Time and again, Davis has been accused of cherry-picking opponents who pose minimal risk. From Mario Barrios to Hector Luis Garcia, his fights often feel more like exhibitions than genuine tests of his abilities. The fight against Frank Martin earlier this year was supposed to be different. Martin is a rising star with serious talent, and fans thought he'd at least push Davis, but the bout turned into a lopsided affair with Tank dominating from start to finish. Afterward, Davis himself admitted, "Frank's good, but he wasn't ready for me." Critics were quick to pounce if Martin wasn't ready. Why book the fight in the first place? The answer many believe lies in carefully orchestrated matchmaking designed to protect Davis's undefeated record.
Explanatory why he doesn't want to fight with me. My style is kryptonite to him, and we'll show when we link up in the ring one day. Hopefully.
And now we've got Lamont Roach. To be fair, Roach is no pushover. He's a former champion with solid skills and a respectable resume. But moving up in weight to face a fighter like Davis is a monumental challenge. Roach has never faced anyone with Tank's power, and the odds are heavily stacked against him. For Davis, this fight feels like another easy payday rather than a stepping stone toward greatness. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back when addressing this issue. If Gervonta wants to be remembered as one of the greats, he needs to start fighting guys like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, or Shakur Stevenson, he said. These are the fights fans want to see. Enough with these mismatches. Smith's frustration is shared by many in the boxing community who see Davis's career as a series of missed opportunities.
Jules Mo 1, he said, no one at 135 has the power to keep Tank at bay. I would actually be willing to bet Shakur.
The fight develop as we move forward, but he's already let Roach know that he's here to fight.
The protect the investment strategy isn't new in boxing, but it's becoming increasingly transparent in Davis's case. His team, led by Mayweather Promotions, has masterfully built his brand while minimizing risks. It's a strategy that's kept Davis undefeated and highly marketable, but at what cost? Fans are growing tired of seeing him dominate overmatched opponents, and the criticism is only getting louder. The irony is that Davis has the talent to beat the best. His power, speed, and ring IQ are second to none. But without facing top-tier opponents, those skills remain untested against the elite of the division. Fighters like Devin Haney, who holds all the belts at lightweight, or Shakur Stevenson, a two-division champion with impeccable defense, would offer the kind of challenges that define legacies. Yet, these matchups remain elusive.
Do not buy Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. Don't spend y'all money. Don't give a dime towards it. This is crap. This is crap, and this is who y'all call the face of boxing.
Tank's recent announcement that he plans to retire after 3 more fights adds urgency to this discussion. If he really intends to hang up his gloves soon, fans want to see him go out with a bang. A trilogy of meaningful fights against top opponents could cement his legacy and silence his critics. But starting with Lamont Roach, it's a letdown, plain and simple. Even Davis's staunchest defenders are finding it hard to justify this fight. Tank's resume looks great on paper, but when you dig deeper, you see the pattern, said one prominent boxing analyst. He's not fighting the best in his division. He's fighting guys who are either unproven or past their prime. The frustration isn't just about Davis, it's about what this trend means for boxing as a whole. The sport thrives on heat and competition, but when top fighters avoid each other, it undermines the very essence of what makes boxing great. Fans are left wondering what could have been, and the fighters themselves miss out on the chance to truly prove their greatness.
What? Who said that? You said what? You said what? Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want to back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much?
Out of the way. So Perez is dangerous at every moment. He remind me of
Stephen A. Smith's call for Davis to fight bigger opponents has also reignited debates about Tank's potential in higher weight classes. Could he compete with the best at 140 or even 147? Davis's power suggests he might have a chance, but his choice of opponents leaves little room for optimism. Beating Mario Barrios at 140 was impressive, but Barrios wasn't exactly a top-tier fighter. The idea that Davis could jump up and dominate elite welterweights feels more like a marketing ploy than a serious proposition.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson.
Big left out by Lamont Roach. Yes, he has that look.
Critics have also pointed out that Tank's fights have become predictable. The pre-fight trash talk, the flashy entrances, and the highlight reel knockouts are entertaining, but they lack substance when the opponent is clearly outmatched. It's a formula that works for now, but how long can it last? At some point, fans will demand more. As the fight against Roach approaches, the narrative remains the same. Davis is a supremely talented fighter who continues to underwhelm with his choice of opponents. This isn't just a missed opportunity for Tank, it's a missed opportunity for the sport. Boxing needs its stars to shine against the best, not coast through mismatches that do little to elevate their careers.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's Hawaii, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference.
For all the criticism, there's still hope. Davis has the chance to change the narrative with his final 3 fights, but let's be honest, hope is running thin. When asked about future opponents, Davis and his team have been vague at best. In the end, the fight against Lamont Roach feels like another chapter in the same story. It's a showcase for Davis's talents, but not a true test of his greatness. But do you see it the same way? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.